Good morning. I have no idea what I look like right now. I've just woken up and here's the doggies. Got the tent. Duchess is inside. She's not happy about being inside, but we're gonna do that while we're here. And then when we go to the next campsite, I'll let her out because I know the area better. But this morning I wanna go walk to the horses. So this is like the equestrian area of Portugal, or at least one of them. And I went yesterday. I just like ended up on this road and just ended up in this beautiful horse place where they do lessons and boarding and rides, and you can ride to the beach, and there's like a jumping arena overlooking the water. It was like all so cool. It was nice to see horses again. Aslan was like he jumped when he saw the first one, but he knows. He grew up around horses when he was a puppy. It just has to like re-register. Or when he saw a goat, he was like, what is that? So I think I'll go get some horse therapy. And yeah, it just like really made me miss Italy and miss the farm. I was talking to Nikki, the farm owner, yesterday, and just like deciding if and when I will go back. I think I really do want to go back to Italy. That's kind of where I'm getting pulled to. There's also, I spoke with a therapist, but a psychic this week, and she keeps seeing Switzerland. That I know I have a connection with Switzerland. I'm Swiss, but like also there's this health facility, like a functional medicine kind of place, which I know about. I have people in my circle who have gone to these kind of treatments in Switzerland for Lyme disease and mold and things like that. There's one specifically where they like heat up your core, and it has this way of getting rid of the spirochetes and the bacteria and everything. And you know, I don't really identify with having Lyme anymore. That's helped with my neuroplasticity, and I felt a lot better after I did my Lyme treatment. But I am open to going to this facility, so I'm gonna look into that. Maybe like get a home in Italy, wherever that would be, and then have a dog sitter come take care of the animals, and then for a little bit go to Switzerland. It's kind of like where my thought is. But it's just crazy because she saw Aslan. It was a gift because she's like my mom's friend, and so she didn't know anything about me. She saw Aslan. She said that we've been together for many lifetimes, and it's not common, from my understanding, for animals to be humans in past lives. But apparently he was a human, or not a human, but like not a dog. I don't think it was this planet, but that we were apparently married. So he came to this lifetime to protect me, which is very accurate. I felt that way when he was born. I just kept hearing, I am number one, I am number one. And he was like the first of the litter, because I was like, how do I pick you? Like, how do I know which one you are? And it was just like very clear who he is. So I'm gonna have my coffee and then get ready and we'll go see some horses. I don't know if you guys realize that like Aslan is still just a huge baby. I mean, yeah, he's pretty huge. I still see him as a little baby, but I have to plan everything around him being a puppy. Like right now I'm waiting for him to calm down a bit so that I can go wash my face with my NŌVÉ bag. Kind of see it? So yeah, this is like usually the time after coffee where he'll chill for like 2 seconds, and then I can go wash my face, and then we'll go on our walk. And now big brother Arlo is here to say, okay, Aslan, we gotta relax now, okay? You're such a good boy, Arlo. I'll be right back. I think what like amazes me is that I can come over here, like walk back and make noise. I was just like getting that all situated, which is my stovetop. So I have electric, and then that's a gas one down there as like the leverage thing. I like the electric more. I should have like a shield between this and the tent, but I just do it really cautiously. But anyway, I walk over here, and usually when Aslan hears walking, he like goes into guard mode, but somehow he like feels, I think he can feel my nervous system and like my energy, and he never barks when it's me walking here, and so he always knows, which is just like fascinating. So it's actually perfect that I mentioned the Switzerland thing, because it's crazy. When I got off of that call with the psychic the other day, she had mentioned Switzerland. I had asked her like where my home is. She had said like Italy would really welcome you. She said something about Thailand. And then I got out and I met this like beautiful man was petting Duchess, and I was just like, hi. And he said he's from Switzerland, the German part, which is where the treatments are. He said he lived in Thailand and his mom and sister were here too, and I met all of them and they're all super sweet. His sister's name is the name of my guide, which I've never heard this name ever on earth. I was like, wow, that is wild, my spiritual guide. And then they came with me, and so they came here to this campsite, but they just left, so I was just waving goodbye to them. But it was just like those kinds of things happen, those synchronicities, to confirm when things are in alignment for you. And so that happening just told me like, okay, there really is something about Switzerland, Italy, Thailand, like all of this, and to really look at it and to just be open to the unfolding. So this is the walk to one of the horse places. There's quite a few, but this is the only really shaded one that I think I can get to right now, and it's too hot for anywhere else. Ooh, hello! Oh, so beautiful. Oh. Aslan, what is that? What is that big doggy? I'm gonna do some work now. The Wi-Fi doesn't really work here, the Starlink, but it works just enough from the office, reaches here, to like load some pages. I can go over to the cafe if I need, but we'll see. The farm in Italy, I'm talking with them right now, talking about moving to Latiba, or anywhere really in Europe that is not Italy. I guess like they're really fed up. They've had a lot of politics with the local community that it's just like at this point unbearable for them to stay. So I'm like, wow, that's a lot to process, because I've been looking at places in Italy that are close to the farm, and I'm like, I think I should hold off on that thought until they figure out like where they want to go. Also, I think it would be kind of fun to, you know, be a part of that move and to help them and maybe make like a documentary for on here, and also like to do in collaboration with the farm, and to show just like what this animal rescue and sanctuary has gone through in order to find home. So let me know in the comments if you guys would want to see something like that when we find the right property. That was way too zoomed, but I'm not going to re-record it because authenticity. I just cannot right now. I just filmed 15 minutes of talking about everything I wanted to share that has happened in the last 2 days since I filmed, and then the microphone. I was like so excited to be using the microphone, and then it was not plugged in. I know that I don't have to hold it this way and that I could clip it, but I like how it sounds better when I do this. So the last 2 days have been so interesting. So interesting. I spoke with Nikki, the farm owner in Italy yesterday, and she asked me if I would drive to Eastern Europe to go to Eastern Europe. She didn't say how, but if I would like to go there and check out the new potential farm because of the politics that are going on at the current farm in the village. And instantly my body was like, yes. My nervous system was like, yes, this is the adventure I want to go on. It's a big adventure. And at first I was like, I have no idea how it is going to work out, because this car here, this is a rental car from a guy on Facebook. And I was like, okay, well, maybe he would let me take it, but that is a long drive. That is like 36 hours or like 40 hours of driving, and I don't think that this car would make it with like all of the stuff and the animals and everything. So I was like, okay, God, reveal the way, reveal the path if it is meant to happen, and if I'm meant to go on this adventure and help the farm in this way. And then I just kept looking and sitting and like trying to figure out how that would happen. And then I came across a van, and I told on Facebook, and it's a motorhome, and I told them, you know, what I'm looking for and what I'm doing. And like they were so stoked, I guess, about the mission and the work of, you know, the animal rescue and stuff. And so they offered like a good deal with the price, and which is amazing. And I was like, okay, this actually might be falling into place now. And I'm kind of mind blown. Like, I barely slept because just I've been in not Florida, Portugal now for so long, for 7 months, and I I went through hell here. Like, I went to hell and back here. I went through such a spiritual awakening. I'm still going through such a spiritual awakening. I've changed as a person. I've changed, in my human experience on earth, and I've seen so much about myself and my patterns that I never would have seen before. Like, had I not gone on this journey with NŌVÉ, I really think that NŌVÉ like triggered a lot of this for me, and I didn't realize like how painful it would be. But the fact that, like, my therapist, she came into the picture at the perfect time and has been so helpful with everything. And I've been able to see that pattern that I told you guys about in the last video of like the wound, and then the protective mechanisms, and then on top of that the false identities, and like how that's just how I've been operating my whole life pretty much, and how so many people are operating with their unresolved wounds, and how it's like so difficult sometimes to get to those wounds because of that. And when I had that like breakdown the other day with my keys, and I talked about it in the last video where I lost my keys, and then I was looking everywhere. I looked on the beach and I didn't find them, but I sat down and I was just like, in that whole experience, was like literally cussing out God, and was like swearing, and just like feeling so much anger and rage. Like, and I am not a angry person or a rage person, like. And so part of me was like, whoa, bury this down. Like, do not say this. Do not express this to God. Do not let this manifest. But another part of me, like, is just so, I know, I know so much. And so I was like, I have to let this go. I have to say this. I have to express this. Otherwise, it'll go back and be trapped again. And when we're activated like that, which I know God, like, literally did that whole thing with the keys so that I would be activated, so that I could feel that protective mechanism and let it go. And then I'm sitting there on the beach after I've just like said it all and like let all the rage go, and just like really took it out on God. And I was just like, am I going to be punished? Like, what's going to happen? And then I was met with this like incredible amount of love and acceptance at my deepest wound, because I had like let go of the protective barrier, and in the wound I was feeling this love and acceptance that no matter what I say or do, I will always be loved and accepted. And after that experience, I didn't find the car keys there, but I found the car keys on a post on Facebook in a random Facebook group, and the guy ended up finding them on the beach. His dog found them, spelled backwards as God, and he's like, I would have never found these if it weren't for my dog. And that was after I had this breakthrough, and I was like, wow, this is just fucking magical. And when I was walking back from the beach that day, when I, had just had that experience, I heard God say to me, now I can work magic in your life. And I was like, oh, shit. It's going down now. Because the thing with NŌVÉ is like, you do the intake and you talk about your chosen timeline. And at first, when I created the app and the method and like Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis a year ago, I was like so clear on what my chosen timeline was. And to be fair, it actually hasn't changed a lot, but in the process of developing it, that's when it was changing a lot. Like, from last year to now, there were so many different locations and timelines and ways of life and all this. And in each moment, it felt so right to make that my chosen timeline foundation and have all my NŌVÉs and pep talks created about it. But then a week would go by and I would be like, how am I a completely different person? I want something completely different. And like, not in a lot of ways, but like location and home and like lifestyle and things like that. And that was because of all these different identities that I had, and how easy it was to create new identities on top of this shitty foundation. And then all that gets burned away. The false identities get burned away. The protective mechanism comes down. The wound gets healed. And then what happens is your true self emerges. Your true source aligned self, God, emerges from within. I feel the kingdom within, that has literally been the spiritual journey that I have been on since getting to Portugal. And I did not expect this. I was like, I'm free. I'm going to Portugal. I'm going to, like, life is gonna, and it was beautiful, but like life is gonna be so abundant, like, you know, the program's doing so well, Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis, I'll make this app, it'll take me like a month and it's gonna blow up. And it is, like, it is slowly but surely, but I've been in a period of refinement, which I think a lot of us have been in a period of refinement, you know. And like, I'm closing my coaching business, like I said, there's 2 more days as of right now of filming, or yeah, of filming this. Sorry, my elbow's like really hurting from sitting like that. Uh, and like really going all in, and letting go of all the false identities, or just identities that don't align anymore with what I am feeling is my truth and my mission. And then, you know, God had said on that beach in this refinement, when I'm living in a tent and like, you know, surrendering everything, surrendering like my main source of income for the past 2.5 years, closing the coaching business, you know, and going all in on this app, and like changing my way of showing up online and everything, and just like being in this refinement, and stepping into this new chapter. And then God says, I'm going to pour into your life now. And then all of a sudden, this opportunity to go to Eastern Europe and support the farm that I love and care about so much, Ladybug, and all of the horses that we here on YouTube, and, you know, some other platforms, but mainly my YouTube community helped me rescue these horses. And then there's 40 total horses on the farm, and dogs and cats and goats and all this. And so going on this adventure, potentially, to find a new home for all of them where everyone can be happy, there's going to be so much more land, and we can get off on a good start with like the local community. So my job would be to really integrate with the community, really get to know, you know, the agricultural department and like all that, and just really try to prepare like for what would be incoming, which is the entire farm and the volunteer program and everything. And then the van falling into place so quickly, and literally that's what I've known, and so many other things in my life. Like this is what I have known would happen, is that the love, the health, the abundance, the joy, the freedom, all of it starts falling into place all at once when you finally come home to yourself. There's been such a theme here, right? I thought I left the US to come to Europe to find home, but really I came to Europe to, you know, come home to myself. And that's what Trust Fall is all about too, is that journey and what has really been happening behind the scenes, just like all the little details and like backstories and everything of like what formed my life into this. And so I'm so excited to be sharing more of Trust Fall. So the first episode, because the first one that is now on my YouTube, that is an intro episode. So the first one, uh, I'm hoping to get live, I think in a week. I was hoping to do it this week, but here on this campsite, or in this campsite, the cell phone service is like not a thing for some reason. The Starlink doesn't really work because of all the trees. The cafe Wi-Fi doesn't really work. And I need a lot of Wi-Fi like service to be able to download these videos from the cloud and all of that. And so I'm not going to rush this process, because this is a really sacred journey, I think, to share. So in a week or so, get ready for the first episode of Trust Fall. And if you want to sign up for any of the programs, then those should still be live. Hopefully I can get this video live today. And sign up for NŌVÉ free trial, linked in the description as well. And there was one other thing that I wanted to share with you guys before I leave, but that I shared in my last time recording this, but I think it was like so eye-opening. I just heard it before sitting down and filming this, but it was about this story in the Bible, apparently, about the silversmith. And so pretty much there's a reference of like looking at silversmiths for some of the answers, right? And so this woman went to go to study a silversmith, and they were making silver, and she observed how he did it. And so he puts the silver before it's like its finished product into the fire, and what that does is that purifies it, and it has to stay in the fire until it's completely purified, but it must be removed exactly at the right moment. Otherwise, if it stays in too long, it'll like be unfixable and never saved. And so the woman had asked him, how do you know when it's time to take out the silver? And he said, though that part's easy. It's when I can see my reflection in it. And so, what this video that I saw said, oh, Aslan, he didn't like that person walking by. What the video had said was the meaning of that is that God, Source, when God sees, I don't want to say his, but like for lack of a better word, his reflection in you, in the refinement, like when you come home to yourself, when you remember your truth, when you like have been broken down so much to the point where the only thing left is surrender, and the only thing left is remembering the truth of who you are, and the only thing left is rising from the ashes, that is when you are taken out. And that, I feel, is when everything starts falling into place all at once. And I think collectively we are going through this hardcore right now. I think a lot of people are going through this refinement period right now. So you're not alone. If you feel alone, I understand. It can be it can be perceived as a lonely experience because that's part of the process. The isolation, the hermit phase, walking through the dark forest with nothing but faith and trust that you are being divinely led. The other thing that I saw right after that was that, why would I be brought through the darkness and like have to walk this alone and like, do all this? And it's so that you can be prepared to walk others through the darkness too and show them the way out. Like you're learning the way so you can show others the way as well. And that doesn't mean that you have to be like a teacher or whatever. Whatever you create after this period of time, and like even in this period of time, that gives other people, whether it is, the code, the download, the actual information, the frequency that they need to continue their mission on earth of coming home to themselves. We're all the song, I forget what it's called. It's one of my favorite songs though. I don't know. I don't think it's Trevor Hall. It might be Trevor Hall. Or it's this other guy that, yeah, I met him one time at his birthday party on a boat, I think. And it says, we're just all walking each other home. Like the Bible once said, we're just all walking each other home. And that's all that it is. It doesn't have to be more. You don't have to keep telling yourself that you're broken and that you need saving and you need fixing. All you need to do, I think, is surrender in this moment. Let it all burn. Let it all turn to ashes. You're not going to burn with it. You will be removed from the fire as soon as you are ready. And when you do, and when you are, you will have the capacity, because you will be your infinite being self, to walk forward into the chosen timeline that you have been calling in your entire life, that you came to earth to experience. So this is a wonderful, beautiful time, and I hope you feel that anticipation of literally miracle energy, of all at once energy, of everything falling into place energy. You're just being refined, but you can feel that anticipation now that everything is exactly what it needs to be. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for being on this journey with me and, supporting my content in this like transition phase as I figure out how I want to show up and whatnot, and like just the style. Like there's so many workflows and so many decisions to make about how I truly, how I'm being called to show up, and I'm not clear on it yet. I want to take you guys on the journey, and I think again this Eastern Europe mission for the animal rescue is going to be the perfect opportunity to take you guys on this journey and to explore a new style of content and, showing you what that looks like. I never really did that in the past when I was traveling by van and whatnot. So let me know in the comments if you're excited to go on that journey with me. And yeah, I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for always supporting this channel, and giving a thumbs up really helps. Subscribing if you're new here and you want to see the rest of the journey, wherever that takes us. And then NŌVÉ linked in the description, and the courses are linked in the description as well. I will see you guys in the next video.